Hello there, and thank you for clicking on my video. Today we're going to be talking about gas damage and how to actually get damage out of this element. Gas is widely considered the worst element, but I'm going to make the case that not only is it usable, but it's probably one of the stronger elements in the game. The difficult thing about gas damage, first off, is I'm going to pull up the wiki, is you have to mod gas damage like slash damage. Putting gas mods on your weapon does not increase the damage that the gas ticks do. Um, but should you figure this out, if you notice, the tick damage is 50%, is 0.5, where slash damage, also from the wiki, is 0.35. So, just for your consideration, if you decide to run a build, there are definitely rewards, if you will. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to get gas ticks in the hundreds of thousands, if not more. So first, let's take a look at what setup we're going to be running. We're going to be using the Synapse. It's a heavy crit beam weapon, but let's see the damage first. Let's see what a gas tick looks like. 4, 9, 71, 38. It looks pathetic. But there's actually a lot of hidden damage. So we're going to get our red and our orange crits on gas damage, 10 stacks. Gonna charge it up. 15k, 34k, 52k. Seeing a 65k, 86k. We'll move our shred around. 55k, 240k. $6k, 132k. Whoops. Hold on. 320k, 461k. 321, 174, 360, 461. So the damage is there. Okay, and this is not a build that like I've seen on YouTube where it's a heavy like initial hit to get the base damage built up. This is a status procking build. And this is the way you should build gas. You have to think of gas as like that old story of Princess and the Pea. Gas, you have to mod for it like slash and boost its damage like heat. And that's the problem with it, is you figure the damage is so low, but it's because it's getting destroyed by armor. Remove the armor with any sort of armor strip, and I've gotten gas procs in the millions without running whatever that helmet ability that jacks the status up. You can get millions of slash, or millions of gas ticks, and just murder level cap coming through a corridor. But it takes setup. So let's talk about the multipliers that are on this. Now that we know the damage is there, there are some things. Okay. Viral amps gas damage. Corrosive amps gas damage. And remember, we're getting 460k slash or gas procs when there's a negative 50% damage on cloned flesh to this damage type. So the gas damage is way higher. But we're using multipliers to jack our damage up. So first, we're going to talk about one of the few weapons that have innate gas on it, and really this is the only one worth talking about, is the Zacti Prime. So if we look, 100s, 120s, it's modded for viral toxin, so you can see the 100s, 65s, 46s. Alright, let's mod this for corrosive. Alright, we got our weighting. Pull up the Zacti. Wait for the spit. $130s, $280s, $480. $213s, and this is with no bonus. Alright, so that's base damage. Let's get some amp damage. Alright, at 11x, Merciless, 730s, 730s, now we're at 1000s, 2Ks, 1K, 600, 458. Okay, so the damage still sucks. Okay, but this is a more complete representation of what you normally see. But now that we have our stacks, we're at 9x. We're gonna shred this guy. 2K, 6K, 7K, 12K, 5K. So these should be considered our base multipliers, 9K. But here's the other thing. Headshot multipliers count. Okay, it died. $10K, 10K. And so a headshot multiplier will double dip and will apply the galvanized status mod, but it doesn't apply on the AoE. So in order for us to get those nasty stacks, we can't use this. And I've chosen to use the Synapse for this. And absolutely min-max it for crit damage. And for waiting for gas, the base damage of this weapon is 90. And we're going to use multipliers to get to high damage. So, faction, double dips, it's a dot. Crit damage pays huge dividends because of how high the 0.5 is, going back to it. These are your base damage multipliers. Okay, so any base damage or crit damage, your base damage gets applied here, but you should sort of mentally think about, like, this is your multiplier that crit damage applies to. And just looking at the wiki, this also takes into account sniper headshot, so like target acquired. also gets added on to the headshot mechanic. Now, the thing that always trips people up about gas damage is the fact that armor destroys it. So they think it sucks. But let's take a couple of shots at this guy and see what just the crit damage can do. Alright, 120s. 3600. Our damage is starting to go up now. And I'm not using Zada's Whisper to amp the damage. So we're going to shred just a bit. And now we're going to shoot him in the head again. Whoop. Two Ks. Alright, now we got a kill. So now we have headshot stacks. 2K, we got 1Ks now. The damage is still low. We got full deadhead procs. Okay, 1100s. Now we're in the 2000s. Now we got adaptation stacks. 7400, the damage is going up. Two Ks. Alright. I can't even get a full armor strip down. But you can see even with gas, the weapon is doing damage. And then the final damage amp is the full strip. So if you remove the armor, the main issue with gas is armor. But if you also do headshot multipliers, it double dips. Okay, 635. It's free to max out its double dips. Because the thing about gas is when you shoot something, right? This gas cloud only exists at head level, the level that I shoot at, so 270. So if I have enemies that are the same height, I will start headshotting everything around it, and it'll get damage amped by viral. It'll get damage amped by the headshot multiplier getting applied twice. It'll get damage amped by the base damage increase. So just with those couple of multipliers, you can get nasty procs. But the playstyle is a little weird also. Like, especially with Zaku. No, of course it's not close enough. You would park an enemy in a corridor and shoot it till 10 stacks and just let it kill everything, or put it on a defensive target and have it sit right there and have a 200, 300, 400k dot just sitting there applying to everything. But I hope this helps, because the main issue is keeping the headshots out. 3 million, nice. Is keeping the thing you're shooting at still. But the damage will slowly climb as the headshot multipliers continue. But if the enemy doesn't have armor, like with Zaku, it's super easy to do. If the enemy doesn't have armor, gas is god tier once you get the multipliers on it, because that initial 0.5 is so much higher. And a lot of you guys know that Slash can hit for 100Ks, 200Ks with like a good Riven, a couple million. and that's with a 0.35. So a 0.5 can go even higher, base, and it's heavier on a crit side. But I hope this helps on at least seeing a way to get gas to work. Let's talk about a more likely scenario, though. Like, if you like running and gunning like I do. Okay, this one. Okay. Uh, Normally, galvanized scope and deadhead is super difficult to routinely keep up. You either have to be running a weapon that can just RNG it, or have like be practiced with headshots, especially with the different heights of the enemy. But just to go over our multipliers: galvanized aptitude, multi-shot. On headshot, you get additional crit chance. This is going to put us just up into oranges. Crit delay, because there's no fire thing. You literally, we're doing the alt fire, so as soon as you click it, it just goes and it's all reload, right? Bane, super important on dots. And this weapon is innate heat, so we just throw on a malignant force. Because the weapon is, or because gas does not take into account modded damage, I really just want the element from Malignant Force and the status chance. That's really the only thing that I want off of this. Just something that turns heat into gas and crit damage, obviously. And most importantly, Deadhead to get the headshot multipliers. Change to semi. Alright, heavier hit, no multipliers. Seeing a 5k now, all alpha damage, and the base damage of the weapon paying dividends. Whoops, I am out of ammo. Downside of this build. Alright, seeing 2Ks now. 3K. 1700s. Alright, got our first stack. Seeing 1Ks. I'm out of ammo. Take out some of the armor. Help with the stacks. Alright, 9K. 5300, 5K. Alright, and for grins and giggles, okay, shred everything. I saw 63,000. Okay, everything's dead. But there you go. You see some of the damage. This would be a more average setup. $15K, 10K, 13K, 1K all the way on the outside. Fall off, paying dividends. 4K. The alpha damage is obviously way higher because they're shredded. But this would be a more normal setup, and you would go for mass applying 10 stacks of gas, so the dots overlap, and that would give you your damage amp. But I just wanted to make this video because it's always been like really frustrating that people claim gas can't do damage. You got to think about it like the Princess and the Pea. It's a crit. It's a crit element that you have to boost like heat, so it needs viral and corrosive. In order to get it to do damage. But if you can get that setup, Jesus, it does damage. You saw the 2 million procs. That's level cap numbers. But anyway, I hope this helps. This ran a little long. But thank you all for hanging out and have a blessed day.